Nat, the voice of Chester.
If God forgives and you don't, that makes you half the man, yet all the sin. But I guess there's no point of believing in God if you can't see Him. And if He's small enough to wear around your neck, I see why you think you can be Him.
I want the revenue, even begging residue from a different pedigree, lying in a petting zoo. See me with a 1 and 1, that mean it was never 2. You too busy doing me, that mean you was never you. Sick of seeing homicides, I wish that I never knew. That boy ain't deserve to die, should've chose a better crew. Nigga, if you wanna live, better keep a Desi too. Standing at the gates of hell, praying they don't let me through. I look at the devil and tell him fuck you. All that shit I put up with, my whole life was full of shit. Mama struggled 40 years, that's why I want for 40 bricks. Instead they gave me 40 pounds, I ran the rap like Tory Smith. Double up, come and get your double up. Raw so it bubble up, hit you like an uppercut. Thought so she let her fuck, got too many kids now. Scared to have another boy, cause they shooting kids down. Home when it's better, pray when it's worse. You either gonna drive the Bugatti or ride the hearse. Dead or in jail was the only option. We ain't come too far from picking cotton.
Can never tell the difference between the mother of the murdered and the mother of the murderer. Both shook and solemn, both eyes and memory blue and tin. Both lost their grips when they lost their sons.
Don't get me mistaken for no bitch nigga. Keep a shooter with me, that's my switch hitter. Only bag you getting is the 6 nigga. So you won't get to see it close once it's zit nigga. Zit nigga, you can be a blood or a crip nigga. Death won't discriminate for shit nigga. It don't matter, you can even have your bitch with ya. So you better get a grip nigga. Grip nigga, pistol grip on me, I won't list nigga. Fix nigga, you can see they broken from the pits nigga. Lost soul, running from the crossroad. Listening to bone, watching all the walls close. It's all about survival with the fittest. Death before designer on my mama, I'ma get it. I won't be Harold Miner, I'm like Jordan with the pippin'.
Yo, you officially tuned in to WWJD, What Would Josh Do? Which means that it's officially Thursday, which means that I have my official co-host star of the show here. I apologize. This is one of the first times that I had somebody cancel on the show. It was last minute. They were under the impression that it was going to be like a remote thing. So for the future references, anybody that I reached out to, anybody that I have scheduled to come on the show, please know that you have to come here to CMP Radio, right here in the building where we do a live podcast, one of the dopest news shows out there. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks to all my loyal fans. But as halfway promised, I do got my guy, Lamar R. Graves here of Crystal Ball Scar. What's up, Mar?
Ain't shit.
Yeah, what's up, baby? Thank you for coming through.
Always, always.
You already know. Also, as y'all know, I'm super duper big on family lineage.
Yes, sir.
And knowing where you come from. So this is also another one of my closest. This is my twin cousin, Lamar, and this is my dog. So this was gonna happen anyway.
Yes, it was.
But as y'all know, what we do here every week on WWJD is we have a word of the week, and our word today is selfless. Concern more with the need and wishes of others than with one's own. Unselfish. So, Mar, just jumping right into it before we get into, a little bit about you and what you do and how we got here and what you're doing today. Are we still living in that type of world where is it safe to be as selfless as it used to be? I guess that would be the best way for me to ask the question, because I know working in the community, I know definitely for me and the men that I work with, we're constantly demonstrating that selflessness. I always tell people that don't mistake that we don't got shit going on. Like, don't mistake that life doesn't show up for us. A lot of times, people see us under that Superman umbrella. And, you know, we constantly smiling, we constantly just showing up, we constantly pushing forward, we motivating people, we giving other people advice, but a lot of people don't know what we go through on the inside, or, you know, all the damage that we have that we constantly fighting through every day. So I asked the question, is it safe to be that way? Or do we live in a society now where social media and everything else has kind of created this selfishness versus the selflessness?
I would say being selfless is the quickest way to grow the spirit, quickest way to grow the soul. As to being safe to be selfless, I would say yes and no. You know, societal norms nowadays makes it hard to be selfless because a lot of people prey on selfless individuals so they can get something out of it, and they themselves aren't selfless.
Without a doubt.
It's hard because a lot of people they had that happen to them, and in most cases it makes you closed off. You know, you don't want to go down that route no more because it does hurt. But for the growth of the soul and the growth of the spirit, for sure, you know, you can't let bad situations hinder your growth.
Absolutely.
So always be selfless.
And I just put up a post not too long ago about that, just about protecting your peace.
Right.
I think that a lot of the times, one of the major things that happens in our community, one of the biggest pandemics that we're not talking about, that we have been blinded by, the monkeypox and the coronavirus, and, you know, being in debt and the unemployment surge and all that stuff. One of the things that I'm constantly talking about on my show, that I'm constantly big about, is mental health.
Right.
Like, mental health is genuinely a pandemic.
Yes, it is.
That we're just not talking about. Like, nobody, like, we messed up out here.
Yeah.
Like, mentally, emotionally, even coming home, you know what I mean? And, you know, having been to prison and coming home, a lot of the stuff that I learned about my own mental health, I had to learn on my own because it's not this big thing. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about, shout out to Leslie, man. Shout out to OnlyFans. She want me to wear them Leslie Mae Hoochie Daddy shorts bad, man. I took her. Shout out to OnlyFans. But so, you know, definitely protecting your peace because mental health is real. Everybody going through shit. But just getting right into the interview more, tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, what you do as one of the greatest artists I've seen.
Okay. Well, my name is Lamar Graves, as some of y'all may know. Part-time Bigfoot. I like to be secluded. You know, you might catch a glimpse of my feet. You might find a footprint in the wilderness.
Yeah.
You know, I like to stay out the way. Family man, artist. Got 3 beautiful babies. Got a lovely lady at home. A beautiful family, talented.
Beautiful
everybody.
family. Shout out to Brett.
You know.
Brett, what's up?
What's up, boo?
Yeah. And she's an educator.
Yeah, she is.
She is a whole black, amazing teacher. Big shout out to Brett.
Yeah.
But go ahead, cuz.
Big Bank Brit follower if y'all if y'all see her in the streets. Art, full-time dad, full-time baby dad, fiance. Shit.
But I know I want us to get into Lamar also used to be an A&R for Tandem Records.
Yes, sir.
How was that experience?
It was eye-opening. I'll be honest with you. It was very eye-opening. A&R for me, kind of natural. I have an ear for everything, so I grew up listening to country, jazz, classical, literally everything. Dad blasted it.
That's how I am.
Dog,
I listen to everything.
Oldies, Cameo, Earth, Wind and Fire, everything. So, I could listen to everything and find the good in it. So A&R for me was really natural. But it was a challenge because it's not just, finding talent, it's kind of cultivating it. And when you're cultivating talent, you got to have people who are willing to cultivate themselves also. And, you're not always going to get that.
That's kind of similar to the work that we do.
Yeah.
You at some point, you got to be willing to put that work in yourself.
Yes,
I tell people all the time that I can't do nothing for you.
Right.
Like if you're looking for somebody to do something for you, I can't do absolutely nothing for you, but I can help you with everything.
Yeah.
Like I will help you through everything. I will hold your hand through every process. I will get you through any storm that you need to get through. Right. I will counsel you. I will mentor you. I will do anything that I can do to help you helping you.
Yeah.
But I can't help you not helping you. Like I don't got that type of energy. I don't have that much time or space in my own little computer system.
I got babies out.
Yes, like shout out to my daughter Jenna. You can't see it, but she is here in the building. So shout out to my baby girl. She got a chance to come see what her dad does at the station.
Shout out to the twin.
Yes, she looks just like me. But more getting back into it. First and foremost, I want us to have a moment of silence, like really getting together for Brittney Griner, man. He just gave that girl
9.5.
9.5 years in Russia for, what was it, marijuana?
Cartridges.
A cartridge of marijuana oil.
She didn't even have it installed. I think it was just like in her bag.
Wow.
They said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make an example."
If it was, I would love to be able to interview our president or interview, somebody in Congress. Like, what are we doing? Because seriously, like that's messed up.
Yeah.
I did 10.5 in a U.S. prison. I can't even imagine doing 9.5 somewhere in a foreign prison like that. Like, so, to her family, to her, stay strong, and hopefully we still live in a nation that will do everything we can do to get her back home.
Yeah, definitely keep your head up.
Yeah, please, because,
Definitely.
Brittany, you probably won't see this, but I know that your family might. So, know that we rooting for you, know that this has affected all of us, really. It's all over social media, it's everywhere. People are speaking out, and I wish that we had that type of power as a community, like to really, we stand up for everything else. Yeah. But here it is, we have a whole American sitting over there for 9.5 years for something that the majority of Americans do every day.
Yeah, but honestly, if it was LeBron, you think this would be happening?
No, right? So I used to say the same thing though, right? And somebody made a great point. It's not LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron wouldn't have been in Russia during the time of war.
Right.
LeBron wouldn't have been over there even messing with him. LeBron wouldn't have had the vapes on. Like, it's easy for us to say that, like, if that was LeBron, like, we would have went crazy. And probably so.
Right.
But it wasn't.
Right.
Brittany, I still...
Go back to being selfless.
Yeah.
I go back to being selfless. Treat everybody like you're going to treat somebody else, regardless of their status in the community. That's somebody.
Without a doubt. But this is the thing about selflessness, right? It's individually based.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the ability to be selflessness. To be selfless. That's why we have users, abusers, manipulators, and all those type of people who carry those titles as well. Right. My thing is this, like, Britt, if you get out of this, don't you ever do no stuff like this again. Like, don't ever do nothing like this.
Stay out of Russia.
Please.
Stay out of Russia.
Please.
More of a story.
Yeah, because I just, and I know from a little bit of the story that she was actually trying to get back home, but you should have left all that other extra stuff there.
Yeah.
So I know it's easy for us to say, you know, if it was LeBron or if it was this, or if it was that, if it was a male figure, you know, in the NBA period.
Yeah.
Because LeBron literally made more money than the whole last year he made more money himself individually than the whole WNBA paid out to their players. So that alone is just crazy. We definitely gotta do better with that because our women out here are stars.
Yeah.
Our women, I love women's
They be
sport.
turning up.
Yo, they be turning all the way up. So it's like, you know, I be trying to figure out like where's the divide? Like what's so? Why are we so far? Why are we still so far behind when it comes to that type of stuff? And let's be honest, why aren't more of the men, like the LeBrons, like the people that's making all this extra money? All right, well, I'm gonna give up an M this year. I'm gonna give up an M this year. I'm gonna give up an M this year. I'm gonna give up. If we get 40 players to say all right, they got another $40 million cap. Pay these girls, pay these women, pay these mothers. A lot of them are moms, a lot of them are women that's right here in our community, that's super active in our community. They super big in our community. Like, let's do better community when it comes to supporting women's sports and supporting our women out here doing big things. I can only imagine my own daughter making it to that level and being cheated because she's a female. Like it don't sit right with me.
I'll be ready to turn up over my baby.
Also, in news, something that's not being talked about. We was just talking about it before we got to the studio, and it's not being talked about for some odd reason. Joe Biden's son.
Oh yeah.
Our president, maybe this is why we can't get Britney out.
Big freak boy.
Because here it is, we got this man on tape with crack cocaine on a scale, arguing with a hooker or another, whatever it was. We got him arguing with the cocaine on the scale.
This ain't adding up.
This ain't adding up. If that was me, no. The police would have been at my door. Where's that, man? And
FBI kicking your door in.
What's going on?
Shit, not even that. He had a picture.
But get this,
eating a panini with the person tied up on his bed with the bag over their head.
And this is the thing: if you are a part of the presidential family, 9 out of 10, it's a Secret Service agent right there, that's allowed all this shit to go down, and they want me to take another shot. I love you, Dr. Kristen, but see, this is the type of stuff that discourages me. Yeah. We also can't forget this is the same government that had slaves in a whole state walking around in regular clothes, thinking that they was free, and the whole time they was test dummies.
Right.
I can't believe this.
I can't wrap my head around it.
I can't wrap my head around it. The man had a whole scale. I can't even remember the grams that was on there.
News don't even talk about it.
But nobody's talking about it. And I just seen it because Donald Trump Jr.'s son got a show on Facebook that sometimes pops up on my advertisement thing because I watch other podcasts. And it had it on there again, like they was talking about it again, like, yo, nobody's talking about this.
Right.
Like you said, like if this was my dad, if this was Donald Trump, we would have been turning him out the frame. Like, we can't believe this. Or if it was Donald Trump Jr., we'd have tore him out the frame. Yeah. But here it is. We have a sitting president who has his son. And like I said, 9 out of 10, Secret Service was right there. Like, if they weren't in the room, they were outside the room in a car waiting for you to escort you to the car to go wherever you need to go.
Yeah. And he know what this thing getting into.
Joe, we just got to do better.
Which begs the question, what you getting into?
Hey, I ain't gonna go that deep, Joe. I ain't gonna go that deep with you, Joe, because you still Joe. But we gotta do better, Joe. Like, we gotta get, like, you got your son out here with crack cocaine on the scale. Get Britney home.
Right.
because she has something that's legal. Most of the places here in the U.S. Please bring that girl home. Like, if they're giving her 9.5 years over there, like, come on, tighten up.
That's crazy.
Because you can't sweep that under the rug because it's over here. Get that girl home. Yeah. You're out of pocket. So, Mark, just, what are some of the things that you see in the community today that still hasn't changed from when we was coming up that we need to work on? I know a couple weeks ago we spoke about the educational system.
Yeah.
How, we still behind. Like, I tell people all the time, the scariest thing to me is that we haven't even felt the effect. Shout out to Kev, yes, God. We still haven't even felt the effects of them taking our children out of school for 2.5 years. And now with this monkeypox thing on the rise, it's scary. Like, it's like, are y'all going to do it again?
Yeah.
And, most people, they want to laugh. They make fun. Oh, well, if they're going to give up that money and all that. But at what cost?
Right.
Because that monkeypox, that joint got me scared to I don't even want to be around people. It's like, don't touch me. Don't say nothing to me. Don't cough. It's like, you can't even cough for real now. It's like, it's that scary. Like, and then when you read the symptoms, they don't attack till 4 days later. But when you see them pictures and, oh my gosh, that's something I would never. That's wild. So just thinking about that, are we prepared to take our kids back out of school?
I think we should be. I think you should always be prepared to step up and, have to be your children's teachers, because before schools existed, parents had to teach their kids.
Without a doubt.
And that goes to, getting yourself financially situated, getting yourself, well-read on finances, how to, actually teach your children, what to teach your children. So, you're not dependent on a system to raise your children,
Because that's what it is. It's a system.
It's a system. And the system, let's be honest, is garbage.
Absolutely.
When I was in high school, we had books from the 70s. I'm talking about, I had a book with my dad's signature in it.
Wow.
Come on.
Yeah.
I had a book with my dad's signature in it.
How this happened?
Come on.
And that's scary, because I always tell people, like, education is so powerful. It's the one thing in this world that can't nobody take from you.
Yes, it is.
It's your knowledge, what you know. It's an old saying I always say, go back to slavery, the Willie Lynch method. Yep. If you ever want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book, because they don't read. Yep. And to this day, that's very much so true. A lot of us don't read, which is why I'm big on reading. I'm big on education. I'm big on promoting that to our young people, because what you know can save your life. Not only can it save your life, but it can save the lives of people around you. Right. And I read everything, man. I watch everything. I'm vicious YouTuber. I like to know about hunting, and I was just watching a show, which was a good show on Netflix, called Alone. Yeah. But I own a bow and arrow, all that type of stuff. I carry a camping bag, because you just never know. The world that we live in today is creepy. Yeah. Like, it's really creepy. Yep, and technology has made it even more creepy. Yeah. Because now we're more aware of this stuff that we wouldn't be aware of without our cell phones or these laptops or without Google. Right. So now that we got Google and all this stuff, we're more aware, we're more conscious, and I love that about our people. I love the fact that our people are waking up more. I love the fact that our people are using the internet more. And when you think back, what's even more scary is that I think about Trump presidency, right? It's like, yo, he gave us a shot to get this money. And right now, I just seen a statistic today that came out that said, the millennials are now, like, they have a lot of money tied up in real estate and stuff. Like, the millennials generation has came up. Yeah. They're worth more today than they ever was before. Yeah. And it stemmed from the pandemic. A lot of them did do good by the money that they received. So big shout out to those entrepreneurs, and big shout out to the people that was able to use that money and transition into a world where you're financially set, you're financially taking care of yourself. Yeah. Because when you think about it, that's what it was for.
Yep.
People can say whatever they want about Trump and his presidency. I always say that, one, he gave the most money in history as a president to black colleges. That's a fact. Yeah. Also, he gave that bread up. Like,
he did.
He gave that money up on a continuous basis, and it set up a platform for us that if we wanted to, we could have elevated. Yep. A lot of us messed that money up, myself included. I'm a victim of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, that's just being honest. But we had that opportunity. We had that opportunity to put ourselves in a position to be better. What we do with that opportunity, that's our fault. Right. If we didn't make it, if we didn't succeed, if we didn't, create something that's sustainable from it, we've really messed that up. Because now when you look at the world, like, it's super duper scary out there.
Yes, it is.
So I'm very big on just educating your kids. And so like you said, being prepared to homeschool. Like right now, we know that monkeypox is an issue. We know that it's only going to become a bigger issue. Yep. So if you're watching this show, if you're hearing this, you can't walk away from this and say that you don't know. You know. What are you doing now to prepare yourself? Because this pandemic is coming. And like I said, it's a whole nother pandemic that's happening that nobody's talking about called mental health.
Yep.
Big shout out to Dr. Margot Lewis Job. I co-host her show Out in the Open with Dr. John. I know we got a new show that we'll be putting out on YouTube soon, and I'll be sharing that link on Facebook. But congratulations to her, because she'll be bringing her show here to CMP Radio. So big shout out to Dr. Margot Lewis John. I look forward to continuing working with you. She is so dope. Again, family lineage and royalty, and just knowing where we come from. And it's dope to have those many people in our family. It's a blessing. Yeah. We're truly blessed in regards to education and in regards to entrepreneurs.
Shout out Patricia Lewis West.
Yeah, the one of the GOATs.
Yeah, huh?
One of the GOATs.
Shout out Storybook Land, because she took us there as kids. It was an amusement park for reading. Go there and pick out books. And
if anybody know family history, everybody had to clean out Patricia's house. Like, it was a rite of passage. Like, you had to go. So shout out, as you see, if y'all looking in the comment section, Synergy Consulting and Psychotherapy Practice. Yes, Dr. Margot Lewis Job, we love you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be able to be in that atmosphere with you. A lot of people don't know, like, it's like a whole different world when you just being in her office and being around her and knowing personally where she came from and about her struggle and being a single mother for many years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just being able to do what she's done and accomplish what she has accomplished, because a lot of people just look at the doctor's degree. They don't know about the master's that she holds in the cosmetology, and she's licensed to do nails. Like, we don't even talk about all the other stuff. So one thing that we big on here, because on WWJD and CMP Radio period, is giving out flowers. So I want to take this time for you just to give you your flowers, because I know where you come from. I know how hard you work. In the art industry is unlike any other. Yeah. You could sell a piece of art for $100,000 one day, and you might not be able to sell a piece for another, you know what I mean, another couple months. Yep. But you do it flawlessly, man. Your swag is unmatched, man.
I try.
You a dope dad. I watch how you are with your kids, man. Even though you my little cousin, coming home after 10 and a half years and just learning myself more and more every day how to be a dad. You, Karan, my brother Malcolm, my brother Salam, and little Lamont, y'all are some of the people, and you know this already, that I look to and I watch y'all and I admire y'all. And y'all are all people who talk to me, call me every day, and be on my top when I'm acting a little crazy. Because we all get a little crazy, but it's dope that we had family like that. And Margot, I want to give Dr. Margot Lewis-Ja her flowers as well. This is a black queen from Allentown / Chester who came back. Those of us from the city might remember her when she had her daycare in Upland called Beyond Boundaries.
Yep.
So you might remember her from there. And that's coming back, but we'll be opening down Delaware.
Okay.
So big shout out to Dr. Margot Lewis-Ja, and we give you your flowers here. I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much for allowing me that incredible opportunity to not just co-host your show, but also learn from you, to be able to broaden my own horizons. You know, we talk every day. She constantly critique me after every show, and, you know, not just after every show, but just life, period. Yeah. And it's important to have somebody like that in your life that can call you and give you that raw detail. Like, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it, and you know that it's coming from a genuine place of love. And a lot, like I said, even my education and in education is due to her, because I was working with her at the daycare and she pushed me into college. She pushed me into community college. So I give both of y'all flowers, man. Big shout out to y'all.
Appreciate it.
And it's a blessing to be a part of this family. So again, just getting back to some more community things. I know you don't live in Chester anymore. How in tune are you still in the city?
I would like to be more in tune. Working on that now. I really want to bring art therapy into the city, because for me, my artwork is my therapy. I got into art as a kid, learning it from my brother, Lamont. But for me, it's always been, you know, when we talk about mental health, when I've been down and I've been in a space, I pick up a pencil, I pick up a brush, and I just start painting. You know, while I'm painting, I go through my, you know, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. You know, I have these conversations with myself, ask myself all the right questions, all the wrong questions, come up with answers. And it has helped me tremendously. It's helped my spirit grow. Help my soul grow, and it's really a lot of therapy in it. And, you know, doing it as I got older and thinking back to all the times when I would draw, you know, most of the time it was, you know, during the time of grief that I was going through, or I might have been going through something, and just remembering, you know, you realize that at points in your life as a child, you know, it's a lot of times where you didn't understand what you were going through, but it was really depression.
Absolutely.
Like I had those memories that I can thankfully recall on, and I can ask questions as a grown man now.
And that, you know, I'm real big on that. I'm glad that you brought that up, right? One of the things that I love of doing, especially when it comes to writing curriculum or being able to teach our children, right? I'm big on, and that's why I give out a definition every week. We hear so many of these words as kids, right? We see these commercials, we watch TV, we listen to the radio with our parents, and we hear depression, and we hear PTSD, we hear anxiety, but nobody knows what it means. Right. You don't know what it means. You can only, you reading it with you trying to figure it out within the context of the sentence that it's used, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I got anxiety too. Yeah. Maybe I got depression. Maybe I got PTSD. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're just having a stressful day. Yeah. Maybe something pissed you off and you just need to work your way through. So I'm glad that you said that, because so many times as kids, we don't realize what we're going through. We can't put a name to it. Yeah. And it's one of the things that, you know, I learned about my own son, losing my own son, was that, you know, we go through stuff and we can't put a name on it. You know, a kid can't just, they're not equipped with that knowledge, but they should be. Mental health should be a part of the school system. Mental health should be
one of the most important things.
One of the most important things. And I always say that our children are constantly in a state of reentry. Yep. Again, prime example, and it doesn't have to be abuse, right? If you live in a household where mom is constantly yelling down the steps, dad is constantly yelling up the steps from the basement, and you have to constantly yell, ah, now you in class and you're the loud kid in class, and the teacher thinks that you just being obnoxious and just loud but don't know or not equipped with the knowledge to understand, well, let me ask him what's going on at home.
Right.
You don't know that. That's what he's used to. He's used to being loud in his household. Yeah. So then he comes to class. Now the teacher's giving him a hard time, and now he's acting out, and he's being crazy. Now they're naming him. They're giving him all these names. Oh, he has ADHD. And
problem child.
Yeah, he's a problem. No. His whole family talks loud all day long in the house. So he has to come to school and he has to try to mute that as a kid. Yeah. That's hard. That's hard, and it's so easy for them. I want to read the comment Dr. Josh said, but so many times the adults in our life are not educated about mental health. Therefore, they cannot recognize what's happening for their children. That is why it's important to break the silence. Absolutely. Which is one of the things that I love about co-hosting the show with Dr. Ja, is because we're constantly talking about a lot of those taboo subjects. Yeah. When it comes to mental health, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to being comfortable with those relationships. And I love being the male component of that show, because you know how I am, straight up and down 6 o'clock. Like it is what it is. I'm gonna give it to you raw. And I always tell people, like, yo, either you gonna like it or you not. But if the truth is the truth, you can't do nothing with it. If it's a fact, it's a fact. If it's the truth, it's the truth. But we have to get more comfortable with having those uncomfortable conversations, because this is stuff that's constantly happening in our everyday life. It's constantly happening with our children. And the more that us as adults, as parents, because I always say, especially us, we're from the generation of babies having babies. And we just didn't know. Yeah. Like, we really didn't know. Nobody wasn't talking to us about mental health.
Yeah, nobody did. It was something I had to figure out through.
We had one.
Talks with myself.
No. I don't even remember the shows, Family Matters, Full House, all those shows that we was watching that they had us mesmerized, running home from school, sitting down, watch. They wasn't even talking to us about mental health.
Yeah, they weren't.
It wasn't a thing. So to me, that's the biggest pandemic that's happening right now. So for all my viewers, for all the people that follow WWJD, as you know, I am tapped into Dr. Margot Lewis-Ja. I am tapped into Patricia Edwards. I am tapped in. And Dr. Margot Lewis-Ja has a whole outpatient practice that she has multiple people who work underneath her. If you need help, get help. If you are going through anything, get help. It is important. It is detrimental to your health. Mental health is real. If you are depressed, it is real. If you are suffering from PTSD, it is real. If you are suffering from anxiety, it is real, and it can affect you. It can affect the way you work. It can affect the way you parenting. It can affect the way you friend, the friend that you are to people. It affects so much of our being, of who we are.
Your day-to-day.
It's our mental. Yeah. It's who we are. It can have somebody, you could be a great person and be suffering from depression and not knowing what it is and not even going to go get help, and you'll burn so many bridges because people don't understand, or people don't understand what you're going through, and in that process you can mess up some relationships. Right. And again, protect your peace. Know that everybody's not going to decide to change when you decide to change. That's another big thing. I realize that a lot of times change is lonely. Yeah. It's lonely in a sense. Yeah. Not everybody is willing to change at the time that you're willing to change. I can't continue my journey of change based on somebody else's journey of change. But damn, they stopped, so I should be good too. No, it don't work like that. You gotta love self. Yeah. So how big are you in your household? One, I know how brilliant Britt is.
Yeah, she is.
So, yeah, and I'm asking the question that I already know the answer to. Okay. But how big are you and Britt on communicating that and reciprocating that mental health atmosphere with your children?
That's one of the leading aspects in our house because, like I said, realizing that, that I went through it as a child, you adults tend to get caught up in the day-to-day of life and they forget that when you was a kid, you had real emotions. We think that, oh, you ain't paying no bills, you don't got no real stress. That's a myth. Mm-hmm. Watching stuff as a kid, it stressed me out, made me go through stuff. I had thoughts in my head that I didn't know who to go to because I felt like I would get in trouble to even go to somebody with these thoughts. And so for me, I talk to my kids every day. If they upset, even if they not upset, how you feeling? What's going on? How's your day going? Letting them reassuring. You could talk to me about anything. Talking to them about things. Talking to them about mental health and the stuff you went through as a kid. And you don't got to go into too much detail, but just figuring out a way to approach your children about their emotions, what they're feeling, how they can handle it, how they can, work through it, and working through it with them, that's doing a lot in itself.
And understanding that it's called a family unit for a reason.
Definitely, because if one cog is off, the whole thing is off.
Absolutely.
So you got to make sure all your cogs are straight. And if you don't, sometimes kids fall through the cracks. But if you treat it like a job, which it should be, not really a job, but it should be one of the most important things. Because I wake up, my first thought is my children. And I got to make sure they straight. Once my first one popped out, my life wasn't just for me. It was him more than anything.
Without
and now I got 3 of them. So it's making sure y'all can get to the age I'm at and surpass everything that your dad is doing, surpass everything your mom is doing, and doing it, and turning out a good person, and turning out as somebody who could be selfless without the, without the hurt that comes with it, and know how to process the hurt and turn it into a positive, because people think that negative experiences are bad things are happening to them. But for me, I look at life as negative experiences are really a positive, because at the end of it, you come out stronger.
Absolutely.
So if you're going through a negative situation, no matter how bad it may seem, it's not going to last forever. You're going to come out in the end stronger, wiser. So what's the negative?
Absolutely. In one of my pieces, and next week I will officially be reading one of my pieces, because I'm constantly talking about my writing. So.
Oh yeah, you be writing.
Yeah.
Writing.
But in one of my pieces, I talked about how it takes about 8,500 bricks to build a 3-bedroom house, right, on average, right? And I remember I was talking to, and the person that inspired me to write that piece was my brother-in-law, Damir Shaw. And he had this thing with his team and stuff like that. He was like, yo, go grab a brick, right? He used to call me in the morning like, bro, go grab your brick today. And it made me look it up. And I looked up one day, like, how many bricks does it take to build a house? And that spiraled into a whole piece that I wrote. So on average, it takes about 8,500 bricks to build a 3-bedroom home.
Okay.
What bricks are you using?
Right.
What is your mortar? What are you using to stack them? How are you grabbing your brick today? Are you building your house? And I mean mentally and emotionally, because that's big.
Right.
Shout out to our physical health specialist, Anna. She just gave me the word that she has COVID. So, Anna, we praying for you. We hope that you get better. Please get better. And and hopefully, soon as you get better, we'll see you on the show soon. She's our personal she's our fitness expert, WWJD fitness expert. So I'll read one now. I'll read a piece now because this is the one I was looking for. This is one of my original pieces. It's called When All Else Fails. Life, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things we pray for, one of those things we hope for, one of those things we take for granted, one of those things we don't think about. Life, it's just one of those things. Sometimes life can feel like just something to do. Live more. Sometimes life can feel hard. Work harder. Sometimes life can feel so low. Climb higher. Sometimes life looks to be over. Look further. Depression, it's just one of those things. One of those things that 300 million people suffer from every day. Find help, please. Suicide, it's just one of those things. One of those things that someone in the world dies from every 40 seconds. Talk about it, please. Cancer, it's just one of those things. One of those things that every sixth death is caused by, making it the second leading cause of death. Get checked, please. HIV, it's just one of those things. One of those things that 5,000 new people are infected with every day. Get tested, please. Life, it's just one of those things. One of those things that loses 151,600 people each day. Love you today, please. The United States has 6.6 million job opens. Apply, please. Life, it's just one of those things. It's way too much to hold on to yesterday, today. Let it go. Way too big to see tomorrow. Plan anyway. And tomorrow morning, and only tomorrow morning, when you first wake up, after you have lived your best you today, after you have smiled today, after you have forgiven today, after you have pushed harder today, after you have loved today, tried today, applied today, got that job today, after you get help today, after you get tested today, get your GED today, tomorrow morning, when you wake up, take a deep breath, smile, and know that today, you, my friend, are a survivor. And when you have taken that moment, live today, please. So,
you killed that, John.
yeah. So, and
that was good.
And I'll share another one next week with y'all. But it's real, man.
Yes, it is.
You know, just hearing those numbers, it just gave me chills. I wrote that piece last year.
Yeah.
But hearing those numbers again just gave me chills because it's still relevant. Thank you, Dr. Margot Lewis-Jai. Yes. It's still relevant.
Yeah.
And again, education is paramount.
Yes, it is.
When you hear those numbers, when you make it that real to you, when you understand that this is happening to us right now, that we need to do something as a community right now, when you know better, you do better. So I'm big on, now I know these numbers. I know that it's 6.6 million jobs, and that was a year ago.
Yeah.
It's probably more now. Like, go get a job, go apply, no matter how hard it get. I know that the child support system is jacked up. I'm still in it. I'm still a part of that. We was just talking not too long ago about it's a black female judge out there. I don't know her name, but here it is. She has locked up over 100 men, which is weird to me.
That's a system.
That's weird to me that the plan or your answer to somebody not being able to pay something is to lock them up and to take them away from their family or to take them away from the opportunity to ever be able to get anything.
Break up the families.
That's mind-blowing to me. And for the women who use this system as a way to get back to the way to get back at a man or the way to make a man feel some type of way. Like, sis, you are a part of the destruction. You are willingly giving this black male, this white male, this Spanish male, whoever that male is, right to the system. And I don't get into what they doing or what they not doing. But what I'm saying is that system that you are blatantly being a part of is blatantly destroying us as a community. To take 100+ males off our street when so many of our women are victims of are victims of violence, or victims of rape, or victim of other men coming from the outside and doing stuff to them. So the answer to that was to take 100+ men off the streets. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to me. So to see that and to see that that's what the system is using it for, like, that's, yes, Leslie, it's sad. It's super sad because most of the time, if you're in front of the judge and it's because you don't have a job, you can't pay. So you send me to jail.
Where I can't pay.
Where I still can't pay. I still can't be there. And you still our taxpayers now have to take care of me.
Yep.
Our taxpayers are people now, the people who go to work every day and pay taxes, the same mother that you quote unquote is helping by sending me to jail, the money from her taxes that you taking out is now taking care of me.
Yep.
That doesn't make sense.
That don't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. And we can't forget that it's election time. So
feeding the machine.
Yep, we can't forget that it's election time. So this is the type of stuff that they like to do.
We got more people incarcerated in America than
anybody else in the world. Anybody in the world.
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's wild.
Free slaves.
Free slaves. I worked for, when you go there, I did 10.5 years. Everybody know my story. And they have CI shops, right? And these CI shops, literally, like CI Laundry had contracts from all around. Like, we was washing hospital clothes and stuff like that. The top pay is $1 an hour.
Yeah.
You know how big those contracts is?
They getting paid.
Legalized slavery. But we do it to ourselves. Yeah. So for the young men,
not all the time.
For the young men, for the young dads, for the people that's out there that's on the fence, that's trying to figure it out, you know, how do I get help? What do I do? Come talk to me. Yeah. Come talk to Pierre. Come talk to C's. Come talk to George Mink. Come talk to these brothers. Go talk to Corey Long. There are programs. There are things that's in place to help us. There are people that's out here to help us. You now know. You are now equipped with this knowledge. There's no future on that corner.
Yeah, there's no future at all.
Everybody quick to say, people telling. I always tell people the scariest person to me is the person that's putting that call in. Yeah. That ain't on nobody paperwork, that don't nobody know about, but he just called the police and told the police, yeah, I just watched him serve such and such. He got the gun on him right now. He got the gun on him. They the scariest person. And that 9 out of 10, it's your homie. Yep. It's no love out there. But if you go to work every day, guess what? You know you got a guaranteed check. Yep. That's the stability. And I don't knock nobody hustle. I don't knock nobody twist. But what I'm telling you is it's a better way. What I'm telling you is that we are now woke and we are now equipped with knowledge. And
use it.
Use it. Use this platform. I don't just do a podcast. I am doing extensive work outside in the community. The people that know me. If you see me, I'm an open book. I'm going to take the time to talk to you. I don't care what I'm doing. You are somebody in the community that needs help. Come talk to me. I have resources that I could take you to personally. Listen. If you want help, it is here. And when I tell you that I'm genuine, when I tell you that it's real, when I tell you that this isn't a game, that we have to do this together, I've been there. It's nothing that I can't talk to you about. And if I can't talk to you about, I literally co-host another show with Dr. Marco Law's job. I have someone you could talk to. I have another cousin, Patricia Edwards, who is a family counselor and a supervisor, the lead supervisor at her job. Like, if you need help, this is where it is. If you want your children to be in art therapy, if you want your children to learn more about art, we have someone. We have all the pieces. We have always had all the right pieces in our community. We have always had all these great talents. One of the things I love about the podcast is that I get to bring people like you, everyday people, everyday superheroes onto the show. We had people like Coach Skip. We had people like Amino Guns. We had people out there, shout out to Gooby Goo, who constantly showing up, man, at these events. Shout out to George Mink, shout out to Corey Long, shout out to Pierre, shout out to C, shout out to all of men, shout out to Lamont. We have so many people that's in the music industry who needs to know about the Graves firm.
Feeding real knowledge.
Feeding real knowledge, giving up real knowledge. So shout out to Lamont Graves, who hopefully I'll be having on the show soon.
Yeah, shout out Graves firm.
Shout out to the Graves firm. Shout out to Jalil Pete, who doesn't owe nobody nothing, but still seeing fit to come back to the city and put a school. So shout out to the people that's running for public office, whether you lose or win. Shout out to you because you seen a place that needed change and you went for it. You were strong enough to stand up for something. I don't care if you win or lose. I don't care how you run your campaign. That's your choice. But shout out to you for even deciding to do it because that's major.
And keep going.
And keep going. Consistency. You might not win this time, but that doesn't mean that you don't win the next time.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Consistency. Big shout out to the men who get up every day knowing that life is about to be hard, but still go out there, still smile, still do what they got to do, still wake up. Shout out to the women who wake up every day knowing that dude ain't gonna show up, knowing that he ain't gonna call, knowing that he's not gonna do nothing, but you still find a way. So shout out to you. Shout out to the young mothers, shout out to the older mothers, shout out to the grandmothers and the grandfathers that's out there taking care of their grandchildren. Shout out to we have all the right pieces. It's just about us building this place together, us building this community together. I remember coming up in the Bennett during the summertime, and I'm from the Graveyard area in the Bennett. Yeah. So, summertime, everybody's door was unlocked and had popsicles in their freezer, bro.
It was a different time.
Like, you could go in anybody's house and get a popsicle during the summertime. The fire hydrant was open. Yeah. We made the best out of anything. We made the best out of anything. We got to bring that back. I would love to crack a fire hydrant open one day, man.
Block parties.
Yeah, just have a block party, the fire hydrant, and just...
Wasn't no mess, wasn't no nonsense.
Like we gotta get back to that. Shout out to the please do not forget about the book bag giveaway that we have. I am one of the sponsors. We're officially getting Dr. Margot Law's job. So Kay, if you listening, cuz make sure you get in touch with me so we can get her logo on the flyer. It is August 28th. I believe the last update we had like 98 people registered, which is freaking phenomenal. Yeah. Our goal number is 150. So keep going, keep signing your kids up. I know for a fact that we know 150 children.
Sign them babies up.
Sign them babies up. They're getting a book bag with all the trimmings in it. We're getting them geared and set for whether they're going to be in school or be in homeschool. This is stuff that they still need. So please, y'all, let's make this a big community event. It's for us. We got vendors that's going to be out there. It's going to be dope. It's going to be lit. The kids are going to have fun. It's set up that way. You know how we do it. Shout out to all the people who are supporting this. Shout out to all the sponsors. Again, like I said, Dr. Margot Law's job will be, she'll be coming on as a sponsor, and also she'll have one of the vendors. So again, that's dope. We'll have somebody for mental health right there on deck. So if you want to talk to her, you want to get to meet the new CMP Radio's new star host, Dr. Margot Lewis-Jha, that'll be your time to meet her in person and just to vibe with her, to see her out there in the element and communicating, and any questions, which I'm sure, because I sit on that couch for free all the time. And I probably still owe the check. We'll talk about that later, doctor. But for real, like, come out, come meet her, come talk to her. That's what we here for. Come talk to me, come meet me, come see Mark, come see us, like, come talk to us, come talk to Pierre, because I know a lot of times we hear these names and people see us doing stuff, but I'm all about that intimate relationship.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? When I come knock on your door and I want to talk to you about your son that's in trouble, I want to sit down. Let's figure this out as a family. Let's figure this out as a community. Yeah. How can I help you, Mom? How can I help you, Dad, elevate him? Because it takes a village. Yep. Get the community back together. And a lot of times, as kids, we look at our parents as they don't know nothing. Right. They're the enemy. That's my enemy. I don't care what Mom said.
Until you turn their age that they was when they had you, and you like, wait a second.
Yep. And it is August 28th at Chester Park. It's going to be between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. August 28th, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Chester Park. Please keep registering. I know we almost at 100, but let's do that 150 or more. Show up. Because we know we got them. Like, our kids need it. So, make sure y'all come out and make sure y'all bring it. Mar, man, thank you so much, man. Time fly by when you having fun and you talking. Like, it's crazy. I just looked up and I realized, like, we really been on. But thank you so much for coming out, cuz, man. I definitely look forward to having you on again. You got a key to the show. Shout out to Dr. Margot Lewis-Jha, who has her show coming to CMP Radio. We'll stay tuned for the dates. Make sure that y'all coming out to the book bag giveaway, August 28th, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. out Chester Park. And that flyer is outdated. The vendor's fee is $30. So please make sure y'all reach out. Please sign up y'all children. I love y'all. Thank y'all for all of my followers. I will be giving you another piece because it's actually going to be in my book. So I will be giving y'all more pieces. I'll start sharing. But thank y'all so much, and I'll see y'all next week. Make sure y'all tune in WWJD every Thursday. CMP Radio, baby. Let's go.
I want the revenue, even begging residue from a different pedigree, lying in a petting zoo. See me with a 1 and 1, that mean it was never 2. You too busy doing me, that mean you was never you. Sick of seeing homicides, I wish that I never knew. That boy ain't deserve to die, should've chose a better crew. Nigga, if you wanna live, better keep a Desi too. Standing at the gates of hell, praying they don't let me through. I look at the devil and tell him fuck you. All that shit I put up with, my whole life was full of shit. Mama struggled 40 years, that's why I want for 40 bricks. State they gave me 40 pounds, I ran the route like Tory Smith. Double up, come and get your double up. Raw so it bubble up, hit you like an uppercut. Thought so she let her fuck, got too many kids now. Scared to have another boy, cause they shooting kids down. Home when it's better, pray when it's worse. You either gonna drive the Bugatti or ride the hearse. Dead or in jail was the only option. We ain't come too far from picking cotton.
Can never tell the difference between the mother of the murdered